Glad to have you back. You're watching the Midday News. The presidency has provided details of the government's 4 social investment programs. The spokesperson to the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo Laoluakonde, says over 41 billion naira have so far been spent on the 4 programs. And I have in the studio with me to discuss this further the senior special assistant to the president on social investment, Barrister Ismaeel Ahmed. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for
I hope I got that. Well, you've received 26.418 billion naira so far for N-Power. That's the job creation for the youth.
Right.
Now, what has been achieved with this so far?
We've employed about 200,000 unemployed graduates from 2016, and we're in the current process of employing another 300,000 between 2017/2018. And as you heard, maybe you heard the president's speech, on the budget speech that he gave to the National Assembly last week, where he talked about...
The whole world has heard that.
Where he talked about our drive again to push these numbers to go up. Now, we're not saying that these numbers are nearly enough to alleviate the problems of unemployment in this country, but social investment is just one part of the so many other interventions that government is doing to make sure that it show up the numbers of people who are gainfully employed. And yeah, so that's what we're doing with N-Power.
All right. What kind of skills were these youths empowered with? Because we understand it was basically skill empowerment. What kind of skills?
Well, no, there's a different set for the skill empowerment. We call it the N-Build, where you have people who are not necessarily graduates of university.
N-Build.
N-Build.
Okay.
Who are young people who are not necessarily graduates of universities or tertiary institutions, but who have a particular skill set that we want to encourage to make sure that we have them in abundance, be it masonry, carpentry, be it mechanical, be it local building and stuff. So we call it the N-Build. That is, we're doing a separate one. That's about 100,000 young people that we're going to employ. We're starting with about 20,000. Yes, that was initially included, but we were not given budget for that in the beginning. But now we're doing it. We're doing it in phases as well. We're supposed to take about 100,000 people. We started about 20,000. But the graduates, the graduate program, which is the N-Power, we're sending people to schools to teach. We're sending people to health and agricultural extension workers.
You've done
to contribute. We have done 200,000. We're currently on the verge of doing another.
All right, we understand 25 million meals have been served under this national homegrown school feeding program.
Right.
How did you perforate this?
Well, what we did actually, first of all, our target was public schools, and it's between pupils between primary 1 to 3. That's what the federal government can do. And as you are well aware, most or almost all primary schools are under state governments or local governments, for that matter. We hardly have any secondary school primary school that is owned by federal government, except of course army or any military or police formations. So what we're doing is we're partnering with the states to come up with menus that are state-based or community-based, because the goal is to do 3 things at the same time. One is to stimulate the rural or local economy by having a local farmer provide the food, and having a local cook the food, and then we feed their kids who are going to school. So the goal is to increase enrollment expansion and to have people fed, to have pupils fed very well, nutritious stuff. And then we have the health and agricultural ministries in the states give us a menu based on the products that is being produced within the local community.
We did hear that these meals were actually substandard and not...
No, of course. We had a couple of few problems of some people who were not implementing it the way we want to be, but we've taken action against. But in most cases, it has been up to standard.
All right. What states were beneficiaries of this feeding program?
I think we have about 26 states right now as we speak. We have places like Jigawa, we have places like Benue, we have places like Anambra. Anambra was one of the first beneficiaries.
You mean 26 out of the 36?
Yes, so, and we're growing, the numbers are growing, yes.
Okay. Nigerians have, if you ask me, they've not really experienced nor felt, the implementation of this programs. How would you say, how impactful would you say they have been?
Well, I think it has been very impactful, but you know, all over the world, government never does a good job of telling its own stories. So this is what
they try.
Oh yeah, so that is what we intend to do. I'm currently on what we call the SIP tour. The SIP tour is to move around the country, talk to people, get feedback directly from the people. Where we have challenges, we'll make improvements. Where we have bottlenecks, we try to talk to state officials or people who are in charge of those programs at the local level to make sure that we remove the bottlenecks and we get improvement. And where we think we need to make amends, we make amends. And where we need to double down, we double down. Well,
these 4 investment programs, I believe it should include housing plans.
Well, yeah, it's part of it, but it's not part of the 4 programs. There's a separate program for that, for the social housing.
Government Enterprise and Empowerment.
Well, that's
program.
GIP loans. That's what we call the market money.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Local. Well, it's basically for small and medium business owners who want a little amount of money to move their business from point A to point B or from point C to point D. We give loans from 10,000 to over 100,000, and
Any
we do it in
interest
cooperative.
No
interest, absolutely no. In this interest free. We only collect the 5% administration fee that comes back, but absolutely interest free.
All right. Barrister Ismaeel Ahmed, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Social Investment Programs. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.